What is up, you guys? This is Stephen Farmer, and I'm going to answer a couple of questions you guys might have. You might be thinking, Stephen, how can I look as good as you look? Stephen, how can I have the willpower and discipline you have? Stephen, are you even wearing pants? Well, some of those questions I'm going to answer today. Some of those questions you're just going to have to figure out yourself. So I recently finished the book, The Willpower Instinct, and I broke that entire book down. Number one, willpower is limited. It's like if you've ever played a video game, you got like a health meter. If you're thinking about what you're gonna have for breakfast every day and you wake up, you already wasted some of the willpower. You walk by foods that you have to turn down in your own house, you're using willpower. Get that out of your house. What am I gonna wear this day? There's a reason Steve Jobs wore the same thing every day, all right? He wanted to use his willpower on only what's important. What should I have for breakfast? What should I wear today? Should I swipe left or swipe right? First of all, swipe left. You know you can do better than that. Second of all, don't waste your willpower on dumb shit, okay? Don't waste your willpower on things that don't matter. Next, heart rate variability. So if you want to do 15-second breaths, that's going to change everything. 6 on the inhale, 2 seconds, hold, 7 seconds, exhale. All right, that's going to change your heart rate variability, and studies have shown that when people do this, it actually helps them control their self-discipline, like addicts and former alcoholics. When they're tempted, if they have a better heart rate variability, they're doing better at being able to stop themselves from giving into things. Number 3, working out adds willpower. So that's why I've already got so much discipline, because being able to do this makes other things easy. So discipline creates even more discipline. Isn't that weird? So if you're already doing something great, it's gonna roll over and get momentum into other parts of your life. Plus you just feel better when you're healthy, all right? And second of all, if I know what I used to look like, if I can look like this, then I can know I can do other things. So just being able to have this going on makes it easier to parlay that into other things. Morning meditation. All right, now you're thinking meditation, what kind of new age, weird, psychedelic crap are you trying to get me into, Stephen Farmer? Well, let me tell you something. Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is way more successful than he has any right to be, is a huge believer in meditation, all right? Jerry Seinfeld, who has disdain for everything. Have you watched comedians in cars getting coffee? He hates everything. And he is huge into meditation, all right? So if those two people alone don't tell you, listen to me, because I'm even smarter and wiser than those two guys I just mentioned. So I'm telling you to meditate. But you're thinking, but I'm meditating and things are messing up. I can't keep attention, I keep focus. Well, who are you talking to? I got diagnosed with ADD twice when I was a kid. I know how it is, but that is what the important thing of meditation is. When you're messing up and having to refocus and reshift and think to not think, that is what meditation is. It's keep making you get in a system of keeping yourself on task and on track. And you're gonna use that when you were messing up in meditation throughout the rest of the day. If you can't see yourself doing it, then you're not gonna do it. You gotta see yourself doing it. Don't you hate when somebody asks you to do some small task but it's out of nowhere? You know, even though it's a tiny little thing, like you didn't see yourself doing that. You know, you gotta see yourself doing that stuff. You think people just get a sex change? I see myself one day getting my dick cut off and becoming a woman in 2023. They had to see that. You gotta visualize it. So your brain often has trouble telling the difference between something that did happen or didn't happen in your mind. So people tell lies enough, they start believing it. There's so many things that people believe, stories they tell, and I was there and I know that didn't happen, but they believe it happened in their brain because somehow I got told to them or heard from somebody else. Somebody told a story and their story of how it happened was so much better than the way they remembered it, and that's how they remember it. So just trick yourself, manipulate yourself to do it. Some of you are really good manipulators. I've dated you, and if you could do that on another person, imagine what you could do to yourself. Want makes will. All right, what that corny little saying means is, if you want something bad enough, you will do it. And if you're not doing it, it's probably because you don't want it enough. I would love to be really great at the piano. I would love for some Groundhog Day thing to happen where I just have those skills, but I obviously don't want it enough or I'd be doing it. But I had to be in shape. I was obsessed with it. I don't know if it was all the comic books and video games and pro wrestling I watched as a kid, but I wanted to have a body like that beyond all the other reasons of attracting the opposite sex and everything. So I achieved that because I wanted it bad enough. But other people, they talk about stuff, but they don't do it. They don't want it bad enough. It is harder for me to not work out than it is to work out. For other people, it's harder for them not to go run for some kind of office than it is just to stay back and have fun with their friends. It's harder for this person to not write a novel than it is to write one. So you've got to find a way to make it where it's harder. And that ties into identity. What is your identity? All right? Some people have this identity that they're this person who just makes money and they're some James Bond kind of guy and stuff. So they'll do whatever. They'll do whatever, like long hours they got to do or terrible jobs, and so that they have this house and they have this income. They'll date some person that they're not even really attracted to because they have this look that appeals to them. There's Asian people I know that won't show up to Mortal Kombat tournaments because they don't want to lose because they'll lose their Asian card. All right, that's their identity. When I became a trainer, I was already in shape, but I got in way better shape because my identity was, I'm teaching people how to do this, I better look damn good. So that's a way to do something. Often, when you teach something, you get better at it, and that's part of your identity. There's the good person rationalization. They've done studies on this. People who often give to charities will talk down to their waiters. People who are doing good in a certain sect, like the NAACP, might say like racist jokes or all that kind of stuff, because if you do one good thing, you think you can do this other thing. So that happens. Oh, how many times have I gone to like a frozen yogurt place, and I mean, not that I go there all the time, but when I have, I've seen a bunch of girls in like workout clothes. They think they earned it. I've had clients tell me they went to some fast food restaurant and had burger and fries and a Coke because they had a workout. They needed the calories. What kind of bullshit is that? But that's how people think. Opportunity. People will go to certain places because they have health food or they have healthier options and not even partake in them. But the idea that they have the opportunity to do so makes it okay. Studies, again, have shown that the Big Mac sales went up as soon as McDonald's started adding low-calorie options into their menu. McDonald's knows what they're doing, all right? That happens all the time. I live in Austin. I love living in a city where I can do a million different things. I don't do any of it. I just stay home. But I like the idea. I'll buy this new video game with 60 different characters I can use, but I only use 3 of them. But I like the idea if I wanted to use them. So that happens all the time. Opportunity creates illusion. Tomorrow, you're gonna be able to do it? Is that what you think? That's what people tell themselves. Resistance. If you ever read the book, The War of Art, resistance is seeping into every vein of your being every day, trying to hold you back. And that's one of the most common ones. I'll do it tomorrow. You'll be better. Where are you gonna be better tomorrow? What's gonna happen? Huh? Your mutant power is going to kick in on that day. It's not going to happen. You're actually going to be weaker tomorrow, because tomorrow you're going to be just like today, except that not only have new things gotten in the way, you're also that person that skipped doing it yesterday. So you're an even weaker person. That's your history, not doing things and putting them off. And the more you do it, the worse it's going to get. I want to do it tomorrow. That day's never going to come. Tomorrow will be tomorrow. Dopamine versus serotonin. All right. Now, dopamine is that quick stuff you get in your brain that makes you feel really good. Serotonin is that feeling you get when a big project's done. But people like the dopamine way better. I mean, how many people are tweeting things for likes rather than writing novels for careers? It's way more fun to do something real quick and get that little dopamine like, ooh, I got 3 likes, 2 ha-has, and 1 share. I think that was a pretty good Facebook post I did today. I'm pretty proud of myself. I think I'm gonna relax the rest of the day. I think I've been working too hard, actually. That's what happens to people all the time. They even did a study with chimps. Chimps were way better at holding off for bigger rewards than humans are, okay? They're gonna be taking over. Planet of the Apes, art imitates life and life imitates art. It's gonna happen, so be prepared for that. They know what they're doing. So knowing what our weaknesses are as humans, how we're wired, you should know that that's going to happen. So how can you do something about that? Can you manipulate getting dopamine within a big project? I do that myself. When I'm working on a big project, I'll send out small samples and clips of what I'm working out to friends and colleagues and get their feedback. And that gives me kind of a dopamine release while I'm working on getting the serotonin. So try to make it work for you. Excitement is the best part. Okay, I don't know if you've heard about this. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? There's big studies going around about how being excited is the best part of anything. You feel better when you're excited. People are more excited opening that present on Christmas than when it actually comes out of it. People are more excited about tracking whatever stupid gift they're getting off of Amazon than when they actually get it. It happens all the time. You versus future you. You are an asshole. The way you treat your future self, I can't believe what you're doing. You're gonna take all that work and put it off on your future self. Why do you hate yourself so much? You like your present self, but you hate your future self, the way you treat yourself. Staying up all night, making future self wake up early. Have you heard that Seinfeld bit about night guy versus day guy? Yeah, it's true, it happens. Send an email to your future self. See how you are actually. Send an email to your future self and read that and see how you are versus past you. You'll get a connection seeing that you are the same person in the past and the same person in the future. You may want that ice cream sandwich now, but do you want the repercussions? Okay, think about future you having to deal with that because present you or past you to your future you, I'm getting confused right now, had a lot of fun with that. It's not worth it. Sometimes you actually have to indulge. I've made myself do this. Sometimes I get too type A, whatever that is, and I'm too into it, and sometimes you have to indulge. All right, so I'm making myself do a cheat day. I may not even want to cheat that day because I'm so in the rhythm of just eating healthy and feel good. But I know if I do that, it'll make me even want to be healthier the next day because I'll feel so guilty about it. White guilt, even though it's not about race, it's over a pizza. That guilt is gonna make me not give in to little tiny temptations along the way. It's gonna make me wanna stay abstinent from all that stuff. So give in to stuff, have like a designated day where you do that stuff. It's good for you physically and mentally. There's an out of shape infection going on, okay? This is worse than any of that swine flu, bird flu stuff we used to have to deal with in the past. If you're hanging out with people that are doing certain things, you're gonna be like those people, okay? They have shown studies that it is 150% more likely that you are going to gain weight if you hang around a bunch of fat, obese, overweight people. It's just how it's gonna be. Because it's just gonna feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Even over the phone, not even seeing them in person, you're gonna be more like them. All right? It's a social norm. People give in a social norm. If they feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, then, I mean, think about it. If somebody told you as a kid you're gonna work and live the way you do right now, would you be excited about that? Would you do that? Like, there's no way I'm ever gonna do that. You're doing it now. Because it's a social norm. I have to dress like this. I have to listen to this music. I have to say these words and never say those words. I have to do all this kind of stuff. It's social norms, and you've given into it. And it's not your fault. It's just how we're wired. We're social people. Hang out with the norms that you want to be. All right? If you're seeing people do extraordinary things, then you need extraordinary people in your life. Negative people, which are more deceptive. You can't tell they're negative till too late. But you're hanging out with those people, you're gonna start feeling like, well, what's the even point? How am I even gonna do that? I can never do that. You gotta know people. It's not for me. That's what happens when you hang out with those people. This was a big one for me. Shame versus pride. So I don't shame anyone, which I was really good at before. They used to call me Stephen Fat Shame Farmer. I was one of the best shamers of all time. I shamed myself because I know how to do it because I do it to myself all the time. I used to give myself such shame, such guilt. But it doesn't do anything. It actually makes you weaker because yourself is like, it makes it kind of okay to do it again because you paid the price for doing it because you shamed yourself so badly that you spent your time in jail. You did your time. Now you're okay. You're neutral again. Now you can mess up. So don't shame yourself. It doesn't help you at all. The studies have shown people are worse when they get shamed. And even if you feel like it helps you, it doesn't, okay? What you want to do is have, and this is going to seem weird, pride. Pride makes people better at doing things. People are more willing to stay away from doing things they shouldn't do because they have too much pride, which ties into that identity stuff we were talking about earlier. Although it is one of the 7 deadly sins, so watch out for Kevin Spacey. Leo Tolstoy's older brother told little Leo to not think about a white bear and then he could come and play. But until that time, he had to stay in a corner. He could not do that. His older brother came by way later and saw him still in that corner. Because somebody tells you not to do things, that's the first thing you're gonna think about. You've heard this before. So don't think in terms of not or don't, because you're gonna think, don't eat that pizza. Your mind's gonna think, eat the pizza. It doesn't think in negatives. It's only gonna think the thing you said after no or don't. Only think in things you wanna do. When I was taught to instruct at the Krav Maga place for a little bit, they said don't tell people what they shouldn't do. Just show them what they're supposed to do. So when you're thinking of things, just think in terms of positive in actions and doing. Don't think in terms of not avoiding, even though I told you to avoid some things. Just think in terms of actually doing it. Suppression is not good, okay? As a white man, my people have suppressed for a long time. So I know how to suppress, but I'm not gonna do it, okay? Because suppression doesn't help. Are you feeling hungry? You feel like you wanna go eat that pizza over there? 3 meat, extra cheese, stuffed crust? You're feeling the urge. Don't feel bad about it. Don't hate yourself for it. That's a normal temptation. Know that you're feeling it. And when you accept those feelings, it's okay. I know There's people who are more likely to cheat on their spouse when they're in a relationship than actually mess with those women when they're single, because they feel like they shouldn't do it and then they do it. It's weird. I don't know how humans work, but this is what they say that mortals do. So when you have urges, accept that you want those urges. Don't feel bad, just know that you feel them. Unless you're a pedophile, then avoid those urges. And while you're feeling that urge, surf the urge. What brought you to this point? What does it feel like? Then in the future, you'll know how to avoid it and get away from it. And last, something that I've had to deal with and I've read entire books about is ego. People who think they have the most willpower actually have the least. People who think they're the best leaders, the funniest people, all this kind of stuff, they don't know. They're actually the worst. So just because you think you have great willpower doesn't mean that. I think I have great willpower, as I've joked the whole time about how great my willpower is. But I mess up on a lot of things where I need willpower. I'm just good at a couple things. You might be really great at some things and you're terrible at others. So know that your willpower is weak. Don't think that you got this all down. Rewind, watch this whole thing over again, take some notes, and learn where your weaknesses are and what you can do better to help you in what you're doing. If you want to read this, I have it all on my blog. You can check it out. I got the link down below. You can check out Derek Sivers. Great guy. Check out his website. He broke the whole book down as well. And you can buy yourself the book via actual book, or you can get the Audible version like I did. Anyway, I'm trying to do more of these videos. We'll see how I go with that, if I have the willpower to keep doing this among all the other projects I'm doing. But thank you for sticking through all the way to the end, and I'll check you out next time.